Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, and this is your Cannabis Business Podcast. Today, we're here live at the World Trade Center in Seattle. We're going to be talking about everything that is edibles today. It's day one at HempFest. I've got some amazing guests, starting with Devlin of Zoots. Dan is a co-founder of Zoots, maker of a handcrafted small batch treat made with premium infused cannabis paired with unique blends tailored to your interests, desires, and intentions. Their zootologists carefully extract the essential oil of the cannabis plant in a contaminant-free environment using their proprietary cypress extraction method. The closed-loop process captures THC using organic cane alcohol and a cold fusion process, so you can be assured that each serving is consistent. And while everyone experiences cannabis individually, Zoots is about having a good time without feeling uncomfortably stoned, which is what sets Zoots apart as a purveyor of fine cannabis edibles. And Zoots was recently acquired by Washington-based Ionic Brands for a total of $11.6 million. Ionic, with a market cap of about $16.5 million, trades on the Canadian Securities Exchange as IONC and on the over-the-counter OTC markets as IONKF. Dan, thanks for being here.
You bet. Glad to be.
Remotely with us is Bob Eschino with Incredibles. Bob is co-founder and president of Medically Correct, whose trusted brand, Incredibles, is known for having the most consistent and award-winning infused products in the cannabis industry. Bob is responsible for the company's sales, marketing, and national expansion. As founding member of the Edibles Council through Cannabis Business Alliance, the Colorado Cannabis Chamber of Commerce, and the Colorado Cannabis Manufacturers Association, Bob has helped shape the next wave of cannabis rules and regulations for the cannabis industry federal level. Medically Correct prides itself on helping educate the public about responsible edible consumption and the emerging cannabis industry. Bob, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And also remotely is Patrick Ian Moir of Edible Magazine. Patrick's the editor-in-chief of Edibles Magazine and the chief operations officer of Edibles List Manufacturing and Distribution. He started out as head dispatch at Speedweed and went from there to be working as a product development and marketing specialist at W Vapes. The edibleslist.com is a source for information and reviews on medical marijuana edibles, dispensaries, doctors, and all else in the legal cannabis community. Edibles Magazine is a source for credible and relevant news with everything related to the cannabis industry. Their mission is to help medical marijuana patients locate smokeless medication alternatives. They want to help get the medicine in the hands of the patients they need it. They connect patients, vendors, and dispensaries, and patients can now save time and money locating their favorite edibles and new consumable products while being able to rate and review, adding their valued option to our online community. Staying tuned for their best of Edibles List awards, and stay tuned for the topicals, tinctures, and other awards that they have. So Patrick Ian Moir, thanks for being with us.
Oh, thank you so much.
So this first question is going out to you, Patrick, asking about how the FDA's ruling on Curaleaf making claims impacts the CBD and THC labeling rules, as well as potential capital flow. And the reason why I asked that is because according to the cannabis data from BDS Analytics, edibles are the industry's fastest growing segment alongside concentrates. California, the nation's leading weed market, saw 108% growth in edible sales this year, jumping from 18 million in January to 37.5 million in August. So another data firm, Brightfield Group, projects that cannabis edibles will rake in $2.3 billion by the end of next year, 2020. So America's edibles may net $5.3 billion, putting the infused foodie sector on par with the K-pop and zombie industries or Richard Branson's net worth. So Patrick, how does the FDA's ruling on Curaleaf making claims impact CBD and THC labeling rules as well as potential capital flow?
Well, for CBD especially, and that brand in particular, because they're the CVS brand, where a lot of, let's say, independently owned smoke shops, a lot of small chain smoke shops, or even CBD wellness stores, hemp stores, anything like that, are willing to take a lot of risks. But with a chain like CVS, which is huge, it's corporate, it's nationwide, there's only so much that they're going to risk now that this has come down. And we've been seeing the FDA issue these letters about making claims, not only to Curaleaf, but to a lot of brands that are making what they're calling egregious claims, because you really can't say that it cures anything. It's completely illegal. That's not anything that the FDA has approved. It's not been designated as an actual drug the way that THC has. So because it's not a drug, according to the FDA, because you can't make egregious claims about what it does or what it heals or what it cures, you really shouldn't be calling it CBD to begin with, because that's what all the trouble is about. And I mean, the farm bill that passed recently was only for hemp. The farm bill didn't really mean that we get to do anything differently with CBD. So unless it's a place, now California is different because they have specifically said, the state has specifically said that you cannot put CBD in food. Somewhere like Florida or New York, they're looking to make legislation that's a lot more CBD friendly than we've even talked about here. But somewhere like Utah, you can, if you have a license specifically for that. But even if you do, they have weird rules of their own. For instance, that it can't be in a gummy, but it can be in other kinds of food. So it is a really big part of the equation that Curaleaf was singled out by the FDA because they're so big, because they are traded the way that they are, because that they have the shareholders that they do. But it really goes a lot deeper and a lot bigger when you look at how it affects everything from state to state and product to product. I don't know that in particular instance is really affecting the way that THC gets labeled, because that is such a state-specific thing, and it's not something that's even trickling down to us yet as far as California goes. But because you can't sell hemp-derived CBD product next to THC in a California dispensary, it does continue to affect it in that way. So it also means that you can't, what they're calling adulterate THC product with hemp-based CBD. You can't just combine the two if you happen to have isolate and distillate. And part of that's going to get into labeling and regulation of the CBD. So if you do that now, it's still got to be full spectrum. That's mostly what we're here in Los Angeles seeing as the results of the Curaleaf ruling by the FDA. That helps any?
Yeah. Bob, what do you think? Do you think that's going to limit some cash flow, some capital?
Cash flow and capital is the hardest thing to come by in the industry, period. It's always been difficult. I don't know if it's going to get more difficult because of that ruling. I just step back and, I kind of shake my head, right? We've been battling this for 10 years. You're not supposed to make any claims, whether it's THC, CBD, any of the cannabinoids. We've known this for years. It's been beat into our heads here in Colorado, right? So it's just commonplace to us. So to hear that people are still doing that, and especially on such a grand scale, is it's a little shocking, right? I mean, from both sides, right? From CBS and from the manufacturer's side, they should have known. Legal should have pointed out, or compliance should have pointed out long before it hit the shelves, that they shouldn't have been making any health claims.
So with that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. I want to thank my guests. We have Bob Eschino with Incredibles. Also remotely is Patrick Ian Moir with Edibles List and Edibles Magazine. And also here is Dan Devlin with Zoots. Congratulations on the recent acquisition, by the way.
Thanks a lot for having us on, and ability to talk about what we love, edibles.
So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't. And I'm out.